Okay.
I'll make a motion to reconvene council.
I already talked.
All in favor?
I'm in favor.
Thank you. That's working. All right, Councillor. We're going to wait for Councillor Baum to come back.
I'm on my way.
Thank you. All right, we left at 6C, so we need to deal with 6D.
We've already voted to come back in? Yep.
You did.
Okay.
Council Procedure Bylaw 1652B, approval of all three reading.
Go for it.
That will be done after we are in camera.
60.
It's just changing the terminology.
Okay, all right.
I'll make the motion.
Yes, that's right. I was trying to understand what
There's
is
your
my
first
motion.
motion there.
Okay,
I'll make a
Councillor
motion to
Cole.
accept bylaw 1652B, which is changing the words from in camera to closed session.
Yes, it's to reflect the MGA.
Right?
As well as just moving the financial reports under committee and other reports. So it's just the format of the agenda as well.
Okay.
Yes.
What you said.
So can you add that in your motion?
It's just
Just did.
to approve the first reading.
Okay. All in favor? Thank you. All right, let's go for second.
I'll move second reading of bylaw 1652B.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none. All in favor? Thank you.
I'll make a motion to allow third reading.
Thank-
Bylaw 1652B.
All right, all in favor? Thank you very much. And now, Councillor,
Move to approve bylaw, third reading for bylaw 1652, council procedure bylaw amendment.
thank you. All in favor? All right, so from this time on, we will have the financials report that will be there for information only, okay? And will be part of committees.
With no,
All right, let's go on the, with no motion. On the 7 other businesses, or business?
should that go in closed session?
No. We will deal with it the same as any other tax penalty waiver, and we do not need to disclose the person's name.
Just the addresses.
We will not disclose a person's name to protect their privacy. All right, so there are 2 tax penalty waiver requests. So if you look at the very first one, the request refers to resolution, account tax resolution 1624.
Extended one.
And that's to extend the waiver of penalty.
Would you like me to speak to that?
Yeah, Jill, please talk to each of them because you're the tax person.
Yep. So for this first one, the property was up for tax sale a couple of years ago. And so we entered into agreement, when it comes to that third year in arrears, we can enter into agreements to delay tax sale as long as payments are made. And if it can be paid in full, then they're off the tax sale docket. So this property, we entered into the agreement. They were pretty good with keeping up on their regular payments. And then the situation changed, and they have not been able to maintain the agreement. They were supposed to have it paid off in October. So they have asked that you give them an extension until April to have it paid in full. There is some hope for a tax return and just a little more time to pay for the taxes. So because the original agreement was started in July of the year, we can extend up until July for our 3 years. Our 3 years is our maximum. So they've asked to April. That is something that council is able to do through the MGA.
And their taxes have been paid
No.
continually since we made the
No.
agreement? Up until April or something like that?
But we could go to July.
No.
They have not.
Okay. What is requested is because they feel that with some incomes that they will have, they will be able to pay it in April. Because it has been 2-3 years now that is lingering, I really honestly feel, Council, that if we want to help that taxpayer, we could, but because it's a lingering issue, and we don't need to have it linger forever,
Yeah.
I really feel my recommendation would be that we ask administration to, if you are willing, to extend that payment right up to April, but if it is not paid in April because of precedent, we add the penalties and we let them know that that is the case.
It's just a private dwelling, it's just where they live.
Yes. So it's 3 years we're trying to see that situation fixed. There has been tries, and because of it, I think in good faith, we could do that. But with a condition that after that, no more.
Well, Mayor, they're suggesting that they will go on the TIP program.
And yes, that will be the other recommendation, that if they're clear in April, that they go on a TIP program in August when it comes June.
So one thing to keep in mind with that, if they get this paid off in April,
They're still 1 year
2019
behind.
taxes will come due as of June 30th.
Right.
To have them get on TIP
So
in
need to pay that
August
off.
may just not happen. And then if that's a stipulation and all the penalties come on, then you've added 3,000 plus penalties on there. So it may, to allow them to continue with the waived penalties and allow them to April, will give them a chance to do more, but to put the stipulation of TIP
Would be too much.
right after in August, maybe a bit much, if they can get there and make up the payments, that's.
All right, so in April, all the arrears to, right up to 2018 would be paid off. So they still have 2019 to deal with.
New tax.
But then that, it wipes the tax sale slate clean. I would remove
That's right.
the caveat that's on the property, and it would start again. Hopefully, they would be able to manage their finances to get
Okay.
it paid off and the penalties.
All right.
the penalties would-
So, council, how do you feel? Do we allow them to extend no penalty, but with a strong letter to let them know if that does not occur, penalties are added on, and Jill will deal with it afterwards? Yes, are you okay with that? Okay, can we vote on that then? I need a motion to that effect. Councillor Brown?
I make a motion that in the dwelling of 275 4th Street East, in regards to the land tax sale, that we are able to put it off until payment in full come the last day of April.
To extend the agreement,
Yeah, to extend the
Okay.
agreement.
Questions? All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay, so that's dealt with. Now, the second one is a little bit more
Just turn the
complex.
page, just turn
Yeah.
the page right there.
That one is definitely
No, the other way around. Right there.
a little bit more
Would you like me to
complex.
speak to
Please
this one?
speak to it.
So this one is a little bit different. The property owner has come in and requested that the December 31st, after that penalty, which is a 12% compound penalty, is asking that be waived and her given until March to pay off the 2018 taxes. So it's only the 1 year that's outstanding. The amount of penalty is $184 or so, $187. So in the past, council has not entered into agreements really for just a 1 year, but there is some thought that if you were to put the stipulation that she get on TIP as soon as possible, then you're getting a prepayment for taxes in the future. So there is some benefit to do it that way as long as there's stipulations and not just waiving a penalty to give people extra time to pay.
Okay, so there is a possible way to do it, waive it under the condition that that person goes on tip.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So if in fact I do not pay my taxes and I write a letter to council and ask that my penalties of $187 be waived because I couldn't pay them in the time frame, I think we just have to be careful of the
Okay.
precedent we're setting here.
Yes,
Because
that's
I
right.
feel like there's lots of us that scrimp and save to pay our land taxes so that we pay them on time, so that I don't have to pay
Yeah.
the $187. I just think we need to be
Yeah.
aware of that.
Councillor Brown, you're exactly right. And the past council and even this council has not waived penalties
One-year penalty.
when there was no agreement made.
Yeah.
Where we have given more leniency is if we understood how that would be paid, because essentially the town needs to recoup the taxes.
Mayor,
Yes.
has she explained her reasoning for this? I know the person, and I kind of have a handle on some of the reasoning for what's going on.
But that's not public knowledge.
It's been a
We do
heavy
not know.
financial- it's-
No, it's not.
We do not know. I don't know that we want to even
No,
discuss it.
no.
All right.
So essentially, what you need to know is there is a $189 penalty coming up. She knows it's coming. She knows it's coming, and she's taking a proactive measure. But we also need to put conditions that a tip program needs to be in place so that those type of issues don't carry on.
Yeah.
So
we offer them a solution.
So if I
That's a
understand this
possibility.
correctly, if she has it paid before December 31st, there will be no penalty?
It's a 12% compounded penalty on anything outstanding after December 31st.
Okay.
So it's up to you. Councillor Brown, I hear you. Totally hear you. I do not think that taxes should be taken lightly, because at the end of the day, when taxes are not paid, they are subsidized by the rest of the population. But here we're not talking taxes, we're talking the penalty. Yes, Councillor.
Just need to ask Jill a couple of questions. So the taxes have not been paid, so therefore the penalty will be applied as well?
A partial payment has been made.
Thank you.
It's not the full balance outstanding.
Bye.
See you.
Okay, and I'm going to make an assumption here, Jill, and you can help me out. Every one of these is done on a case-by-case basis. There is
Yes.
no precedent where we have it logged, and it's like, here's our ironclad rule on everything that we do with respect to, am I correct?
Yes.
That's
So we don't
right.
have any ironclad precedent, it's on a case-by-case basis. Okay, that in mind, I would be prepared to move that we waive the penalty for the property in question, provided that the payment is
taxes.
made by March the 31st. If it's not, then the penalty's added on,
Yeah,
And then she goes on tip.
and that the individual goes on tip.
okay, so did you hear that? Essentially, if in March, the motion made, if in March is not paid, the tax plus the penalty will be applied.
Now, one question, is this a private dwelling or a rental property?
It is a private dwelling.
It's not a rental property?
Okay.
Okay? So that is the thing.
I do have a question there.
Go ahead.
Is it the intent, because it will be March, for them to go on tip to have everything paid in June is not totally feasible, but to get June's paid for and then August start on the
Yeah,
tip program? Is
the
that
tip program in August, I would say,
For 2020? Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
Would you be okay with that, Council? I know it's not an easy one, and if you have to vote against it, please do so. You don't have to be in approval of all. And if it fails, it fails.
Case by case basis.
So I will call for a motion,
I made that motion.
and I will call for the vote on that motion. So in favor of that motion,
Can we read the motion?
Want to read it again?
okay.
We're good.
Okay, so I did not count, so where are we? It's 3-3, it fails.
No,
No, I think it was 4.
4-2.
4-2? Okay, all right.
So it carries.
Okay, I had me worried, I was thinking, oh, Councillor Drew, where are you when I need you? Okay, all right, so thank you very much. And I respect anybody's position on this table. It takes courage to not agree. If you deeply feel so, it's good. All right, so let's go with 7B. Those are recommendations from CCW. The only thing I will ask you to, if you allow me, is under 7B2, I will put that one just before doing 7C, okay, because I go together. All right, so let's go 7B1, policy R8 for remuneration of council. If you remember, that came from CCW, so we need to make that recommendation a motion. Councillor.
I move that we have a discussion regarding policy R84 at our regular December CCW meeting.
Okay, thank you. Questions? All in favor? Thank you. All right, let's do 7B3, off-site levies bylaw. So here, what we had recommended is for a draft to be presented at council. So we need a recommendation for a draft. Councillor Bengry?
I'll make a motion on policy F20-4, fees and charges policy, as directed by administration, or as proposed by administration.
I think you're on the wrong one there, Councillor.
Oh, off-site levies?
Yeah, we're on the offside.
I'm sorry.
Not the golf course.
I'm sorry. Then I'll go ahead and make that motion. We accept the off-site levies bylaw.
No, that we asked for administration to present a draft to council.
All right, thank you.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. All right, let's go 7B, Farm Safety Center donation. In the past, we granted them $200. That is education that is done in elementary school. Yes.
I move that we contribute to the Farm Safety Center in the amount of $200 for their Safety Smarts program.
And that will come from the grant general account. Okay. All in favor? Thank you. Let's go 7B5, emergency services letter of support. If you remember, Councillor Selk, you did something like this. You wanted to do direct administration to write a letter?
I think we should hear where it's coming from too now, the latest. I think you should explain the latest,
No.
what's happened there.
That's
Let's
probably
do,
not a
let's,
conversation
no,
for...
it's
Okay,
not,
all right.
it doesn't go along with it.
Okay, I move that administration draft a letter in support of Cardston County Emergency Services to obtain a retired ambulance from Florida Health Services.
Okay. All in support? Thank you. Now, 7B6 has to do with a UMA letter. We were going to write them a letter of support, and I need a motion to that effect.
I will move that.
Councillor Court?
Council send a letter as requested by AOMA regarding the use of cannabis within the community now that it is illegal.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, all right, let's go to 7B2, policy F24, fees and charge policy. If you remember, the object was to remove the golf rate from that fees and charge policy and to create a new policy, F25-5. So what we need a motion to remove the fees from the policy F20-4. Councillor Brown?
I make a motion to move the fees and changes and allow administration to oversee the rates allowed for the promotion of the golf course, and that's policy F20-4.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. So now 7C, in order to fix that, we needed to have a new policy, policy F20-5, fees and charges policy, so that's updated policy without the golf rates.
I'd be
Councillor?
happy to make that motion to approve policy number F-20-5 for all the recreational facilities prices that we have here
Without, Golf
without the golf course fees.
Okay,
involved
thank
in
you.
that.
all in favor? Thank you very much. Oh, we're doing not bad. So the financial report for information,
Don't need a motion.
no.
It's in your packet.
So let's go on the 10 questions. Is anybody willing to address any issues that they're concerned about? No? Okay, all right. So let's go on the 11 correspondence, Alberta Municipal Affair Notice of Grant, where we already spent the money. That's, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate that.
And at this point, we can adjourn and go in closed session.
Just hang on a second here. This letter here that we just received regarding those upgrades and road rehabilitation, are these monies that we've already been given, or are these monies that are now coming forward?
No. We already,
Projects that have been approved
Yes, so
coming forward?
we've already done them, and we present our plan to them earlier in the year, and they take forever to approve it. So we've already done them, and then they'll release the money.
Then they'll release the money to us.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Well, whenever we receive grants like this, do we always mail a thank you letter from council? I would suggest that maybe that
I think we
be
should.
a good policy, that we address the
there's
correspondence.
nothing wrong by doing that, if that's what you wish.
Well, it's our money, but the same token, they have power over it.
Well, how many of you feel comfortable doing that?
I do.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, it's reasonable? Okay, well,
You need a
then,
motion on that?
no, you need to direct administration, because, you know, if you want it
I
done.
move the direct administration to write a letter to the Office of the Alberta Municipal Affairs, thanking them for their participation in our projects here in town.
We're going to be finding it interesting, because all the rest of the money that they gave us, we never did, but there's always a first.
Anyways,
All in favor? Okay, no, thank you. Okay, let's go, in closed session, we need a closed session, so we need a motion to go.
We go into a closed session of council.
Okay, thank you very much to the media. All in favor? Thank you. We should be in there about 5 minutes at the most.